Simple video, part 2, and it's on luck. How I started believing in luck. Hard work I always believed in, but luck I started believing last 1 year or so. I told you the story about in my previous video, told you the story about my friend who just from nowhere showed up and helped me put together the bathrooms, helped me put together the 10 furnaces and a lot of plumbing. And whatever we needed, it was almost like somebody put it right in front of me. It has never happened before. I mean, if I needed a little screw, it was right there. I did not have to sometime and get up and go and dig it out. I just couldn't believe it. One thing after another, one thing after another. There's so many things. It's like somebody was watching over me and trying to help me. This is the second video about luck. Always remember, and I always say that, I believe in hard work. 47 years of business experience. I always believed in hard work, and I always worked hard, and I still work hard. Make sure you work hard. Make sure whatever your net income is, save 80% of the income if you want to really get ahead. If you don't sacrifice, you're not going to get ahead. And majority of people, like in my previous videos have said, they say save only 50% or 20% or whatever. But I believe in saving lots and lots of money. And then you invest. Saving doesn't mean that you leave in your saving account a checking account. Saving means that you invest. More you invest, more you're going to prosper. Make sure that also when you invest, you want to make sure that you want to invest in the right place. And also you have time so that you can let the money work. So work hard, save, and invest. And it's always good to have somebody who can teach you where to invest. But anyway, this is my second video about luck. So one of the property, I had a really bad tenant. I was not expecting the tenant. I never had such a bad tenant ever before. I had bad tenants, but nothing like that what happened last year in August. This tenant was living in the house for five years or so. I knew that she was a decent tenant. I also knew that I will have some problem with this tenant, but she was always polite and she knew how to talk. But deep in my gut, I always had feeling that when she will move out, I would have a difficult time. Well, of course, whenever I would go there to check the house, I knew that the house was filthy, dirty. She had children. Children were rowdy. But I thought that, well, since nothing is broken and it's just dirt and filth, and it wouldn't be that hard to restore the house. But I didn't want to re-sign the lease with this tenant. So I told her that I've been thinking about selling the house. I just basically wanted to get rid of her because she was not an ideal tenant. And also she was living in the property for 5 years, so I knew that there's going to be some issues. Well, August last year she gets out and she left the house in a horrible condition. There were 13 doors in the house. Each door was broken and busted. Drywall, the walls, every room. They punched in the wall. They stole the ceiling fan of one of the bedrooms. So there were holes throughout the house in the walls. Plumbing was damaged. Kitchen floor was damaged. Refrigerator, stove, washer and dryer, totally damaged. House was like went through a tornado. I walked in the house. I kept my calm. But inside me, I was raging, anger. I thought that, well, if I show my anger or if I see anything in anger, it's not going to turn out good. So I thought that how I'm going to restore the house. Well, I have a very good help. My brother comes down to help me every year whenever we have a busy time in August. So I said to my brother, well, let's do whatever we can. So my brothers and I started working, and I got a couple of more guys. We started working. But I'm not that skillful. I said, where I'm going to find somebody who can replace all these doors, repair all these walls, correct the plumbing. So I was debating, so I thought that, well, the best thing to do would be to go to the drywall place where they sell the drywalls. So basically I wanted to ask that drywall dealer that if they knew anybody who would be good and available to take care of my rental house and repair the drywalls or replace the drywalls and do the plumbing and all those damages in the house. Well, I pulled up in the front of the dealership, but I peeked in the door and I noticed that the guy at the front desk was already talking to somebody. There were a couple of people already there and he was talking. So I said, well, I'm going to stand outside not to bother him. But I said, what if I don't find anybody? How am I going to take care of this house? So I was going through this in my mind, worrying about what if I don't find anybody? Because that's a busy time of the year here, because the new tenants are moving in and old tenants are moving out. So it's very difficult to find help. There's plenty of work for people. So I always try to do some of this stuff myself if I can find anybody, but I'm not that skilled. So I was waiting outside of the store, then there's a blue pickup pulls in the parking lot, and there were two guys, probably my age and just a little bit younger, but looked like, mature guys. So I said, well, I said they looked sort of like handyman type. So I said, well, since they're at this place to buy probably drywall or some plumbing supplies, I don't know, I never met them before. And I was just looking at them and waiting for them to get out of their vehicle so I could talk to them. And they were looking at me and told me later on in the conversation that they was wondering about me, why I was looking at them and it's almost staring them. Well, my intentions was not to stare at anybody. I was just waiting for them to get out. And as soon as they got out of their vehicle, so I asked them if they knew anybody who would be good doing the drywall and some carpentry work and some plumbing work and things like that. And they asked me what I needed then. So I told them the story about the house, that what happened, and the tenant moved out, all the doors are busted, drywall are busted and all that. It was around 11 o'clock or so in the morning when I was talking to them. They said that during the lunch break they would stop by the house. So lunch break was around 1 o'clock or so. I said, well, here's the address of the house and this is my number, and I will see if I can see you there, but the house is locked, so you can go in and check it out. And so they said okay, but I was not sure whether they will really show up, because around that time of the year, it's very difficult to find help. So I was coming back to my beauty salon, and then I saw a handyman working at different properties, so I pulled up. I said, well, just in case those guys don't show up, then I'm going to talk to this handyman and see whether he might know somebody or he might be able to help me. So when I was talking to him and just got to know him a little bit, told him about the house, how much damages were, he said that when he's trying to finish whatever he had to do, then he will probably go with me to the house to look at how much the damages were there and whether he could help me. He said he might not be able to because he's very busy. I said, well, I will show you the house and then you can assess after that. So while I was talking to him, about an hour or so passed by, and then he said, okay, let's go and check out the house. So he and I went to the house, and as soon as I pulled up, those guys I talked about a couple of hours ago, they were already pulling up there to check out the house. So I have these two guys who wanted to check out the house, then also I have this handyman who wanted to check out the house. So I said, well, that's not bad. I have now 3 people here. Maybe it will work out. And these guys who actually I talked a couple of hours ago to check out the house, they looked at it. They were very skilled people, I could tell just by looking at their pickup and their tools. And they said that, well, they can do it. And they can do it right away. I said, what do you mean right away? They said, well, they will show up after work. Their work, wherever they work, after work, they will show up around 5 or 6. And they can repair everything, replace everything within 3 to 4 days and repair all the drywall and all that. And I said, well, that's fantastic. I said, how much? They said they will tell me in the evening when they will come back again and reassess the damages and then give me the list of what they needed to replace the doors and replace the drywalls. And I said, that's fine. This another handyman, he looked at it, but since he was working on somebody else's work, he left and he said that he will give me a call. So I got busy with these 2 guys. Well, then they said, well, after 5 they will show up, and 5:30 I went back to the house. They were already there. They gave me the list of items, what I needed, what they needed to repair the house or replace the doors and all that. I said, okay, I'm going right away to the store and bring whatever you need. They said, well, that evening they wouldn't be able to work, but the next day they are coming after work, after 5. So I had about 24 hours, so I brought everything for them during next day, during the daytime, and left everything, sent them a text message, and told them that the material is there. They can go in anytime, house is unlocked. And around 5:30 or so next day, they showed up, material was there, and they started putting things together. Within 3 days, they made a huge, big improvement in 3 days. All the doors they replaced, drywall, they 90% fixed the drywall. And within 5 days, the house was done almost 90% to 95%. I was very happy. I had my painter, so I asked my painter to come and paint, and then some of the stuff painting I did. And then the kitchen needed to be fixed. The plumbing was bad, and also the countertop and all that. Well, they said that they didn't have time because they are working full time wherever they work, and they would not have time to do the kitchen unless I wait for 10-15 days. So I said, okay, I'm going to let them know about whether I can wait. But then I called a friend of mine, basically somebody who worked for me a long time ago. I called him up. I told him the situation. He said he's going to come right away. He showed up within an hour and checked out the furniture, checked out the kitchen counter, plumbing, and he said he's going to remodel it. I said, my God, I'm so lucky. I was not expecting that somebody would step in, and here the people are just pouring in to help me. So Jimmy, the guy, he was working somewhere else, but after work he will come down, and then he will come work from 6 in the evening till midnight to basically remodel the entire kitchen. On weekends he worked, and not even a complaint about anything. I thought, man, I just can't believe that if I open my mouth and say that I need help, help is right there. It had never happened like this before, ever. So there is a second story about luck. I said, my God, there is definitely somebody looking out for me, looking out for this business. So I firmly believe if you do good to people, somebody is watching you and he will produce good people around you. And I'm talking about God. So here's another incident about luck. And ever since December 2021 to this day, January 7, 2023, anything I need, any help I need, somehow things show up. Just today, I needed a fridge. Just today, I looked up on the Facebook. This lady was selling fridge. She asked $300. I said, how about it? $150. She said $200. I said, okay, I'm coming over and pick it up. I needed help from someone so that to have their fridge put in my pickup truck, and I couldn't find help, but then her husband helped me. And then I brought the fridge and put the fridge in my garage. So one thing after another, these are few examples of luck. So I firmly believe if you do good, you will get rewarded. So luck is something, but hard work is always there. So my friend, believe in God, believe in yourself, believe in your friends, the people who you have done good to, and also believe in people who you have worked with previously. Somebody will help you, somebody will show up. Thank you so much for watching the video. Have a great luck. Thank you again. Bye for now.